It's time to get into some news, boys, and news we do have. We got some data mining going down with 12.1, some new mounts coming out, some really good looking mounts, honestly. We'll talk a little bit about those. Also, the current player numbers for Mythic Plus, the Sporefall raid, where all the DPS is standing and everything else. We got just data to shift through, so without further ado, let's dive straight in. First of all, we got hotfixes coming in hot and fast for 12.0.7 on June 22nd. A few of these changes here expected. A few of these hotfixes were needed for sure. For delves, we have Excavation Site 9 and Street Side Sleuths. Delves should be readily displayed as the correct names once again. For items, we have a fix causing the Draconic Null Clap, or Null Cape, I should say, cloak, to use an unintended appearance. This item now contributes towards the Luminant Verdict's Vestments transmog set. For Nashatal, more bouncy mushrooms, that's right, have been added to help you get to some hard-to-reach locations. Also, Spore Boyo's Slowfall effect now works on mounted players. Omnium Folio, they fixed an issue where the rune of the Void Tainted Shells, or your taint is tainted with void. I don't know where that's going, but anyways, is now in the tooltip, so that's good. Also, quest Defying Gravity should once again function with a layer of Predaxis restored. Ritual sites, players can now pick up Lady Darkglens. New quest for Tier 6 ritual sites in Silvermoon Hub, in addition to the outside active ritual sites. So there you go, another quest to be able to do with those new Tier 6s, which I haven't done yet. I got to go do a Tier 6 ritual site. I just remembered that. Also, Burning Crusade Classic. They fixed an issue causing Midsummer Fire Festival bonfires to deal more damage to players than expected, or people getting killed at the Fire Festival. Jeez. And then we got Miss Pandaria Classic. Siege of Orgrimmar cooldown reduction for trinkets will now correctly reevaluate their effects when starting a challenge mode dungeon. So there you go. Hot fixes coming in for June 22nd. All right, let's get into more 12.1 stuff here. First of all, we got raid testing. That's right, raid testing will begin on June 25th and 26th. We have all the bosses being tested here, except the final one, right? Is it? Oh, we got all the bosses. No, we have 7, right? Yeah, 7 bosses being tested, 8 bosses in the raid. Again, they're going to keep the final boss a secret, so we'll see how all that looks. But yes, we're doing the raid testing on Heroic for 25th and 26th of June, and then they're going to skip a week, and then July 9th and July 10th, Mythic raid testing will begin. Again, you got 7 bosses being tested in total, 3 on the 9th, 4 on the 10th. So if you want to get in the PTR and do that, you'll be able to queue up for those and actually test those out and see what the raid looks like. We'll see what all that is. We'll report on it, of course. We got 2 new warband screens, the new campsites coming in for your patch 12.1. If you're a Silvermoon fan, you'll like these. We have both the light version of Silvermoon, right? The new Dawn Well, after everyone took a shit in the Void Well, turned it into the Dawn Well. And then we also have, of course, the cooler looking version of this, the Void Well version, where the sky's all darkened and everything. So these are 2 really cool looking backgrounds here for your warbands. Not sure yet how we're going to unlock them, but they will be available in 12.1. So these are nice looking sites for sure. Sam, do you ever think about the time you spend watching videos on things you never do? Never. I don't think about anything, honestly. Nerfs to Vantus runes are also happening this time around, guys. Vantus runes, if you guys know, you craft them, you use them. They're a thing that people use in raids, obviously. Gives you a nice buff, honestly. 12.1. For Season 1, I should say, we've gotten about a 6% buff when using these things. Really, right now, I think Blizzard thinks they're too powerful, they're too punishing. It really does stop progression. You can only use them on 1 boss per week, so when a raid or a group of players, say a guild is progressing on a boss, they've all Vantus runed themselves up for it, they get past it. Not having that 5% on the next boss does stop progression a lot of times. Well, Blizzard doesn't like that big of a buff occurring, so what they've done, it looks like they're nerfing the Vantus rune for Season 2. So for Season 2, it's going to act more like a 3% buff to your damage rather than a 6% buff to your damage. Yes, it makes the Vantus rune a little bit less exciting, but it also makes less of a barrier to entry because right now, like I said, when guilds get stuck on a boss and they use the Vantus rune, that 6% buff helping them get past the boss is quite a big deal. It's 5%, and then it moved up to 6. They're dropping it back down to 3. So there you go. Vantus runes won't hit as hard in the next patch. All right, mounts, boys. They help the world go round, as I said before. They help you ride around the world. Whatever you want to say about mounts, they're a motivator for all players. And we got some new mounts coming in 12.1. First of all, this beautiful looking chameleon mount. That's right. Some really cool looking chameleon mounts, different colorway variations on these. I want to see what the animation, I want to see if the eyeballs move in all kinds of directions and stuff. We do have a chameleon flying mount. If you remember that Dreamweaver, I forgot what the hell that mount was called. It was the chameleon one. It's on the WoW store. That's one that you can get right now. But it looks like we're finally getting a ground-mounted version of the chameleon boy. It's got to have a tongue animation too. Hopefully it does. So if you want this, it looks like it's a trading post mount as of right now. But Blizzard hasn't attached any trader's tender costs to these. So, of course, that could change. I'm expecting a combination of some on the trading post, maybe some on the WoW store. We'll see how you actually end up getting these. But, yeah, I have that. I call him Derpy. Yes, or vice versa. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how Blizzard makes these available, but these are pretty cool looking mounts. We haven't had a grounded chameleon mount, as far as I know, in the game yet, so these will be a cool looking mount to get for sure. Moving on to this, we also have the Venom Serpent mounts. Now, we don't know how we're going to get these yet, but these are really cool. This one is obtained actually from the Vaults of Ulatek, a new open world challenge area. So the Coiled Isle. So we do know how we're going to get this one. So we got a Cobra looking snaky boy. We're assuming that you'll be able to fly on these. I think that Venom on the bottom dripping is a good indication this will be flyable, because if it wasn't, it would just not have really much going on the under tummy side. We also have this one here. The Crimson Venom Fang is a reward for achieving Glory of the Venomous Abyss Raider, the Glory Achievement mount. Oh, this one's really cool actually, because it looks like it loses its flesh towards the back end and becomes a bony boy. This is like a half undead skeletal mount. So this is your Glory Raider mount. This is actually a really cool looking Glory mount, one that we might want to go get. We have the Sea Dwelling Isle Serpent. Currently has no source, but has a name and model attached to it. We expect that it could be added at some point during patch development. This is a green and blue looking Venom mount, so this is a pretty cool looking snaky boy too. And then we have this mount right here, a couple other colorways. Where are these coming from? These models highlighted below are variants of the Venom Serpent mount that do not include mount items or otherwise are unavailable at points in the patch 12.1 development. We can only hope they show up at a later date. This albino version is pretty damn cool. Actually, so is this yellow and green one. I actually like these colorways a lot. So these are pretty cool looking snaky boys. Can't wait to ride Sam. That's a great comment, Georgie. Thank you for that one in the chat there. Also, I think these have bigger feathers. Is it, or is it the same? No, it's just this one's green on green, so it doesn't show as much. Also, a little orb on the saddle there. The saddle looks like it's made of bones. So these are pretty cool looking mounts. We got a couple sources and a couple unsourced mounts. We'll see where all of these end up coming from. Moving on to the Delver's Hall of Fame. We already talked about how Blizzard's changing this one. We got the Delve Nemesis boss coming, a new one. He's a snaky boy. You'll be fighting him and killing him. And remember, Blizzard did the Hall of Fame, top 4,000 players. That Hall of Fame ended in the first season in 9 hours. So Blizzard's not all about that anymore. What they've decided to do is make it a week-long thing. So the first week of the season, if you kill the Delve Nemesis boss, you will get the achievement for the glory kill or whatever they're going to call it. But also, we know soloing the Delve boss, every single season has been a thing. I've done it every single season because I'm just that talented. And we always get a mount out of that thing. So this time, soloing the Delve Nemesis boss will get you the Apophic Soul Crusher. Another big boy, mecha mount. It's all right. I don't know why. I got mech mounted out of my ass at the time where we went into the whole Undermine patch and everything. I have enough mech mounts from that to last me a lifetime. So another one is not really exciting. Interestingly enough, this one's got kind of a prey, prey theme to it, it feels like, or more of a Venthyr theme with the red and all that stuff. We'll see if there's any actual theming to this thing. Once empowered by Arcade, now fueled solely by the tortured spirits of the unfaithful. So actually this does come directly from some Venthyr lore. It looks like a cool looking mount if you're into more mech mounts. It's not bad. It's not bad. But this will be what you're getting for killing the Nemesis boss, difficulty solo. Moving on to this, we have new seasonal mounts, guys. That's right, we have new seasonal mounts coming. You got your Mythic Plus and everything else. Let's check these out real quick. So for Midnight Season 1, we looked at this not too long ago. Don't forget, we have a top 1% for Season 1. So before Season 2 kicks off, we'll know who finished in the top 1% in ratings in Mythic Plus. They are getting this Umbral Ashes, a freaking badass red and black version of the Ashes of Bellerad mount. Absolutely glorious. Anybody who gets this, they're going to be a G riding around for sure. This is a really cool looking mount. For Mythic Plus Season 2 mounts, we have our plus 2,000 rating, a freaking really cool looking Bony Boy Snake Serpent mount. This one right here is called the Breath of Blight. This is what you're getting for a 2,000 Mythic Plus rating, getting your Keystone Master in Season 2. We'll give you this boy. I think he's a really cool looking mount. This is a worthy Season 2 mount. And then if you get to the 3K version, you're going to get the Breath of Ruin, which is a red and black version of the same mount. Really cool looking as well. I think red and black seems to be the theme of like the achievement mounts that Rizzler really wants to push for. For gladiators, we have 2 new PvP mounts. That's right, the Vicious Saddle mounts here are Light Bloom Boars. So that's that new, if you've seen the bear version of the Harneer, it's kind of what it is, armored up and ready to go. This is your gladiator version of that kind of skeletal mount framing. So yeah, cool gladiator mounts. Nothing to write home about, but yeah, they're nice nonetheless. And then we have this one here. I should say those were the Vicious Saddle mounts. This is the gladiator mount, the Venomous Gladiator's Gore Drake. Yeah, it's a cool one. It's a cool one. It's got that fell green ripping through. Obviously, this is more poison themed than fell themed, but beautiful looking mount. The gladiator mounts are always freaking great. They're always some of the best mounts in the game. And this one also kind of fits that. I like the way it looks. All the poison theming. I bet you when this thing's animated, it's absolutely badass because it looks like there's tons of like poison clouds coming off of it at the same time. So this is a really cool one. Your boy hasn't gotten Gladiator since Season 3. Season 2, Season 3 Gladiator Champ. Those days are behind me. I don't know if I'll actually get this one, but nice looking mounts nonetheless. Moving on. We got raid statistics and things to get into here. Talking about the new raid, what the classes are, what the popularity, what the top specs going in are, and what the DPS numbers are right now for raids. So first of all, we have your old raids, right? Mythic raids, what's the top specs going in right now? Unholy DK taking the top right here. We also have Frost Mage right behind them, Devour Demon Hunter, Demonology Warlock, Bestiality Hunter, Retribution Paladin, Augmentation Evoker, Elemental Shaman. Those are your top boys. At the bottom, your least brought classes, Arcane Mage, Assassination Rogue, Fire Mage, Devastation Evoker, Outlaw Rogue, Destro Warlock, Feral Druid, Affliction Warlock. So those are your bottom boys right there. Again, that's Mythic rating right now at the old stuff. But let's check out Sporefall. Right, Sporefall on the new raid. That's what everyone's doing right now. That's where the best gear is coming from. How's it looking? Well, Unholy is still your top boy. Retribution Paladin just behind them. Beast Mastery Hunter, Frost Mage, Devour Demon Hunter, Demonology Warlock, Fury Warrior, and Augmentation Evoker, followed by Subtitty Rogue. Got a Rogue class mixing in up there. At the bottom here, Destro Warlock, Fire Mage, Ass Rogue, Arcane Mage, Devastation Evoker, Outlaw Rogue, Marksmanship Hunter, Feral Druid, Frost DK, Enhancement Shaman. So that's where things currently stand. Now, we all care about the damage output, right? Where's the damage? What's it looking like? Here we go. 95th percentile damage output right now. And yes, your boys, the Marksmanship Hunters, are doing great, guys. Marksmanship had a big play here, up 5 spots, guys. 5 spots in taking the lead into first place. It is not alone on its journey, though. It brought along Augmentation Evoker, who moved up 3 spots, taking the second spot now. We also have your original top 3 now sitting just under them with Frosty K, Havoc Demon Hunter, and then Windwalker Monk actually making a decent comeback here as well. We see Windwalker not doing too bad. And then Fire Mage rising up to the 4 spot. This is pretty crazy. I should say rising up 4 spots. This is good to see. Fire Mage doing pretty damn good, and Frost Mage also doing good. We've seen a lot of changes coming in with these classes, so it's good to see. 12.1 is going to really revamp everybody, so we'll see where these charts currently stand. But it's good to see kind of the mages actually doing decent once again. Overall damage outputs here, we see the range of numbers. Frosty K sitting at the top, Survival, Marksmanship, Frost Mage, Subtitty Rogues, Havoc Demon Hunters, but also the Sporefall raid, right? This is where things get interesting. The new raid. What's showing up mostly to the new raid? Well, we see Survival Hunter taking the top spot, not in terms of numbers showing up, but DPS numbers flat out. This is really good stuff for Survival Hunter. Charbs coming in with the sub. Worst Death Knight of our Scourge. Hi, thank you.
Worst Death Knight of our Scourge.
That's 2 years of sub and Charbs. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. Survival Hunter right now taking up the top range of DPS when it comes to the new Sporefall raid. Now remember, Sporefall is a big AoE fight. So the AoE guys are going to eat real well here. We have Devour Demon Hunter also sitting up here at the second spot. Affliction Warlock just behind them. Arcane Mage, Enhancement Shaman, Fury Warrior, Frost Death Knight, Windwalker Monk. So those are your top boys right now for the Sporefall raid. Feral Druid at the bottom. Augmentation at the bottom as well. Beast Mastery Hunter, Destro Warlock, Assassin Rogue. It's kind of a flip. Now, again, people are going to look at this and be like, wow, these numbers really do flip around. I mean, Devastation Evoker now making the top 10. Who would think that? We're seeing them here on the Sporefall raid. And again, it's a big AoE fight. So many ads come out and everything else. So the AoE classes are really going to eat well. Now, let's look. We were looking at mythic numbers and everything else. But let's look at the layman's raid, right? The everyman's raid, the people's raid, heroic difficulty, and let's see where everybody currently stands. In terms of popularity, we see Retribution Paladin still sitting at the top, followed by Frost Maze, Beast Mastery Hunter, Unholy DK, Devour Demon Hunter, Demonology Warlock, Fury Warrior, Elemental Shaman, Shadow Priest. Those are your top boys. At the bottom, the least brought classes in the heroic raid: Fire Mage, Outlaw Rogue, Arcane Mage, Ass Rogue, Devastation Evoker, Marksmanship Hunter, and Affliction Warlock there sitting at the bottom. Overall damage we're looking at right now for all the raids. Across heroic ratings, Survival Hunter, absolutely eating. Followed by Sub-Titty Rogue in second place, Frost DK in third place, Frost Mage in fourth place, Unholy DK behind them, Havoc Demon Hunter, Affliction Warlock, Demonology Warlock, Retribution Paladin. Now from the bottom, the least pumpers, the small boys, the tiny peepees: Arcane Mage, Feral Druid, Outlaw Rogue, Balanced Druid, Destro Warlock, Enhancement Shaman, Devour, Demon Hunter, Devastation, and Augmentation, sitting there at the bottom. For Sporefall raid, again, some things move around here. You can look at these, right? Because of the amount of AoE going out, there's a lot of classes that really, do well in AoE. So you see Devour Demon Hunter in fourth place, Sub-Titty in third, Fury Warrior in second, and Survival Hunter there at the very top. Now, these are the numbers for rating. But let's look at how it looks in Mythic Plus. The current health of Mythic Plus and how it all sits. Interestingly enough, a little bit down. Let's check out these numbers here, guys. So again, the solid blue line is current participation in Midnight Season 1, and then all the other dotted lines are your War Within numbers. So comparatively saying, we're sitting mid right now. We're sitting mid. Since the beginning of Midnight Season 1, actually, we had a 74%, almost 75% drop-off. Now, how does that compare to the War Within Season 1? The War Within Season 1 only saw a 66% drop-off. Now, the War Within started with less hype than Midnight did, and also, we're seeing a new raid open up. So, because of that raid, we're probably getting a lot of people participating in the raid instead of Mythic Plus this week, so that's going to cause things to drop off. People right now getting into these numbers and everything else, getting into raid and doing Sporefall is the most important thing for anyone who wants to actually pump their gear up and actually get these things out. But yeah, the drop-off, again, this was taken last week, but knowing the new raid was coming out and everything else kind of diminishes hype on Mythic Plus. So that's where things currently stand. Right now, across the board, yes, your typical Pit of Sauron's, your most run Mythic Plus dungeon, and Myasara Caverns is your least run dungeon. Not much change going on here. In terms of overall splits on the key numbers, people continue to push the key numbers up. Right now, we got a 78% completion rate on a 24 key. That is your highest key being completed. We have had one completed run, it looks like, on a 25, but it was not timed. So that's your current runs right now, 25 kind of being the wall where people are currently at. If you want to get that top 1% mount that we just showed a little bit ago, keep pushing those keys up. In conclusion, for week 13, as I said before, looking at these numbers, people getting ready for the new raid to open up and everything else, I'm betting next week's going to be more stabilized, and we'll see the numbers of Mythic Plus kind of even out there. We'll see really how Mythic Plus looks, though, in Season 2, because the best gear is going to be coming from raid. The way Blizzard kind of buffed raid gear, the way heroic raid is going to give you myth track gear, and the way myth raid is going to give you 6 of 6 myth track gear from your vault, those are huge changes, and we know players in this game chase the loot, and right now with Season 2, the best loot's going to come from raid. For today, that is all in terms of news.